hearing you say probably start thinking about your life here and shut it down. That's going to be, those are going to be heavy words that are going to be, I assume, too.
Shut it down for the season? Or are you saying not play again? What are you saying?
No, I mean, I'm not saying not play again. I mean, there's been certain guys who've done that. A few guys over the years. I'm not saying that at all. I think that there's so much more research now about healing your brain and things you can do to combat gray matter and different long-term concussion symptoms. But I just hope that he gets the right help to make the right decision for him. But no, I'm not talking about career. I don't think that's necessary.
And let's listen to what Aaron Rodgers has to say about the whole situation.
So Tua is back in the concussion protocol. I don't know how this exactly works. Like when you get put in after you played a whole game. I guess when it comes to like the whole protocol, how has that changed from when you got in the league until now? And what can they do? Like, what's the answer?
Well, there was no real protocol back in the day. Definitely not.
I had to stop you right there. We were talking about old-time football yesterday, and we're talking about what the league is doing today and where the league is headed. And so Aaron's sitting there. I think he's been here 12, 14 years, something like that. I guess he's right behind Brady. And like when I played there, none of this shit was even happening. We just played the game, man. We just played.
Not in game. There was I can't remember exactly, maybe in 05 or 06. I feel at some point there was some outside people. You had to pass some tests. There was always a computer test that was very difficult to pass, and then there was an in-person test that you had to pass. Then they added a balance test. So it all goes off of your baseline to get back on the field. But there's a number of different tests, and it's all slotted like day to day. Like the first day you can do this test, the second day you can do this test, and the third day you got to do both of them again or whatnot.
So these battery of tests that you go through, when I showed you Teddy Bridgewater's history, you're able to clear those tests rather quickly if you could do them. You didn't have to wait a week and go, okay, we're going to keep you in stage 1 for a couple days and stage 2, and you can't even go to practice. It's like, okay, just give me the test. You know what I'm saying? I took some aspirin. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to move on. That's how it used to be until, the league decided to go, whoa.
But look, I mean, everybody's head responds differently. I've said this many times. There's been certain guys who've taken some crazy shots, and you think they're going to be, out for a week or 2 weeks, and the next day you see them and they're totally clear, totally fine. Now that might not be, what's going on in their brain, but as far as their cognizance, they're able to, to speak clearly. They don't have any sensitivity to light. They have no sensitivity to noise. All the kind of the markers for a concussion. Devontae is a prime example of that crazy hit he took in Chicago when Trevathan drilled him. We were all worried that this was going to be a multi-week thing. I saw him the next day. He's like, "I'm fine."
I'm fine. Devontae, who he's talking about, hooked a big hit and had to go into the concussion protocol and basically had to get dragged off the field. Aaron Rodgers sees him. He's like, "No, I'm good, man. Well, we need to take the test. We need to get your cranium looked at because we need to help you help yourself. You're too stupid to know if you're hurt." That's some of the stuff I've been hearing about Tua. You got to protect him from himself. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how damaged he can be. It may set in a couple days later. You guys, and I don't mean this in any sort of demeaning terms, whatever. This game can't be played by basically guys who hit without being some sort of head, I won't say trauma, but dizziness. I mean, I want you to put on a helmet. Go buy one from Dick's Sporting Goods, put it on a helmet, walk over to a wall and go boom, and see what happens. And then imagine doing that for 3 hours.
It's like, well, you're quite fine. Your brain took, some trauma, but as far as like his ability to think and move and working out can bring up symptoms as well. Everybody's brain responds differently. So for Tua, I think now it's getting interesting because he's had multiple now in the same season. That's when it gets a little more dangerous. He finished the game, so I don't know if he was dealing with any, headache or anything. I've seen a play that they showed now where it looked like he got kind of tossed to the ground and may have, had that whiplash effect, which can definitely do it.
And that's what I'm talking about, the neck, that whiplash effect, when you're getting whipped around, and which I also think the NFL has to change because part of what the defensive people are doing now, because they can't hit you, they're slinging you. They're doing everything they can to sling you around. The one where Tua locked up, the guy grabbed him and basically did a suplex because you can't land. I bet you every quarterback in the league would rather a 300-pound lineman land on him than sling him. I mean, seriously, you're slinging somebody, and at that point, who knows how you're going to land?
Much easier on grass than on turf, but now it's probably time to maybe consider shutting it down when you've had some episodes. I don't know if that's going to be in the thought process. As a competitor, that's the last thing you want. But at some point, you do start thinking about your cognitive function later in life and any after effects you might be dealing with. So I'm sure they'll be. They have to now. The eyes of the NFL nation are probably on Miami now to see how they deal with this. And I like the kid. I think he's a real good kid, and I like the way that he speaks and represents his team and goes about his business. And
Aaron Rodgers just said what one of the problems I think too is having with the NFL and with certain fans. It's the way he handles himself and the way that he speaks and some of the stuff he wears on his face. I think there's a problem in the media because of who he is and what he says. You won't see any. I guarantee you will not see a single story anywhere about Teddy Two Gloves talking to Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. That's what you would have thought Tua would have said. He's not cognizant. He's kind of out there. You're not making any sense, Tua. You're talking about Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder. You're talking about stuff. Hey man, what are you talking about? Your head's not on right. But nobody said anything about Teddy and his aloof manner in terms of talking about, dead guys that he's having conversations with. Would that not trigger somebody? It would trigger me, but I know what it's about.
I wish him, all the healing necessary for his brain and just the patience and just to deal with this, which would be a difficult time, I'm sure, dealing with all the attention, doctors, and the decision on what to do. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot because there's a lot in play when you talk about the future. And he hasn't hit his second contract yet, right? I mean, he's still in his first contract, so there is still a lot to be decided from a lot of different standpoints, as it is a profession and it is obviously very dangerous.
Now, with everything that's going on, football is still a business.
Hearing you say, probably start thinking about your life here and shut it down, those are going to be heavy words that are going to be, I assume, too.
Shut it down for the season? Or are you saying not play again? What are you saying?
No, I'm not saying not play again. There's been certain guys who've done that. A few guys over the years. I'm not saying that at all. I think that there's so much more research now about healing your brain and things you can do to combat gray matter and different long-term concussion symptoms. But I just hope that he gets the right help to make the right decision for him. But no, I'm not talking about career. I don't think that's necessary.
Tua's going to be here. I'm going to say it right now on December 29th. If you think Tua's gone, you're delusional. He's not going anywhere.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?